Hi, everybody. Brent Jones, NuHomeSource Realty. How are you? People come to me and they say, if I was going to buy a house, what would you recommend? How do we get started? And what services does the realtor or buyer's realtor really provide to a buyer, and why that's important? So we're going to chat about all of that before we get started. Click notifications, follow me, like this video, comment down below, and share this video with your family and friends that are thinking about buying a house. So I get asked questions about what really does a buyer's agent, why is it important to get a good one, and what services do they really provide to you? Well, first of all, you do need a good agent. And you know, these big box real estate, out of state companies that have a lockbox where you can let yourself in. Okay, that's just, you can't autopilot a buyer's transaction. I mean, it's almost like going to court and you don't have an attorney representing you. You're just there winging it yourself. You need a licensed professional on your side that knows what's what, knows what's correct, knows what's kosher, knows what you should, could, would, and should be paying for and what you shouldn't, and all the different steps involved to help you navigate around all the landmines. And by the way, you understand you get all of that and you don't pay a nickel for your agent. The seller pays all the professional fees. So, I mean, that's the best of all worlds. So let's just talk about the top 5 things that a good buyer's agent is going to do for you. First of all, you need to get pre-qualified before you ever go out looking at any houses, for lots of reasons. Because if you can't qualify, you're wasting everybody's time. You're wasting your time, your realtor's time, and the seller's time. So get pre-qualified. Your realtor, your buyer's agent, could and should recommend some good lenders to you. Now, you're welcome to use whoever you want, but your buyer's agent, your realtor, has probably been doing this for a number of years. They know the lenders, the good, the bad, and the ugly out there, and they can help navigate you to some of the best lenders in the Metroplex. For instance, I have one individual that I've used for 25 years, and he's absolutely fantastic. And when he issues a pre-qualification letter or a pre-approval letter, I guarantee you we're going to close on this transaction. And that's what I tell the other side, is that, hey, I've used this lender for 20 years. If he says they're good, trust me, they're good. But step number 1 would be get pre-qualified / pre-approved, and be sure, again, ask your realtor if they can recommend anybody. So that's number 1. Number 2, your agent. Now, yes, you can do searches on the MLS. Yes, you can. But your realtor can do better searches for you. And in my case, for instance, yes, I can help people with homes that are online, but I also have a way of helping people find pre-listed properties as well. It's called my Perfect Home Finder program. So I can help you find properties online and offline as well. But your agent can help you find houses, and then the agent will coordinate the showings and set up the showings and logistically lay out the showings, and the realtor is the one who will be able to have access to the property and just all the ins and outs. When are you supposed to be there? How long do you have to be in there? How do you get in? Is there an alarm system? Are there any pets? Et cetera, et cetera. So your realtor will get you access to everything. Obviously, they're going to accompany you with all the showings. And then here's something else. When you find a house that you like, your realtor could, would, should crunch the numbers and do a market study on that house. So just because a seller has stuck their house on the market at a certain price, how do you know that's really a good price? Maybe, and trust me, this happens, maybe the seller just pulled that number out of the air. I mean, it's ridiculous how some houses get put on the market. How it happens sometimes is the seller wants to net $50,000. And so in order to net $50,000, they have to reverse engineer what the list pricing ought to be. Now, what that list price that they put it on the market at, is that a realistic price? Is that truly, really seriously what's going on for houses of that type in that exact subdivision in the last 90 days? Are you going to be overpaying or go under contract for a house that's overpriced? So you let your realtor do a market study on that exact house in that subdivision and crunch the numbers for the last 90 days and see if what they're asking for comparable on a square foot basis. See if what they're asking for is in line with what's currently going on the market. So you'll know what kind of an intelligent offer to make. But your realtor can definitely do that for you. And then your realtor is going to write up the offer. Everything is done in zip forms or DocuSign now, but they will write up the offer. The contract is 23 paragraphs, and there's multiple issues per paragraph. So you need a good realtor that knows and understands and has studied and been tested on the contracts. And by the way, they change the contracts almost on an annual basis. They delete things, they change things, they add new paragraphs, et cetera, et cetera. So your agent would be up on what all that means, because trust me, you winging it by yourself, 23 pages with multiple issues, 23 paragraphs with multiple issues per paragraph, you don't want to wing that by yourself. So they will write up the offer correctly. All the appropriate boxes and spaces have all been filled in. And they can help submit that to the listing agent and get your foot in the door. Okay, so let's say you submit an offer and you're fortunate enough to get your offer accepted. You need to get earnest money and option fee to the title company. That will be built into the contract. Your agent can help coordinate that with the title company. Lots of title companies now have multiple ways you can get the earnest money and the option fee to them. Earnest money is about 1% of what the sales price is going to be. Option fee will be a couple of $100s and maybe 5 to 7 days, something like that. But again, your agent can help you with all that. And coordinate that with the title company. By the way, the agent can recommend a really good title company that they've had experience with, and they know this title company has their act together, and that if we're going to close on May the 2nd, you're going to close on May the 2nd. There's not going to be any problems there. You've got a contract. You've submitted your earnest money and option fee to the title company. Here we go. Now, you need to get the property inspected. You need to get the property inspected. Why? Well, because you're about to spend hundreds of thousands of dollars. You need to spend a few $100s. You need to spend some pennies to protect all those dollars that you're about to spend. Again, your agent can recommend some good home inspectors to you. You are welcome to use anybody that you want. But just like everything else, there's the good, the bad, and the ugly when it comes to home inspectors. You might want to go to your agent and say, do you have anybody that you've had experience with, home inspectors, and you know they do a good, thorough job? Is there anybody that you would recommend? And they might give you a list of 6, and you can pick from those 6. You do want to try to get the inspection done as quickly as possible, because you're going to have a short option period, 5 to 7 days, and believe me, that goes by fast. The other thing about the inspection is, if you have a good agent, your agent's going to educate you that you need to not freak out when you get the inspection report, because you know what? You are going to freak out when you see the inspection report. Why? Because it's 45 pages of problems. It can be overwhelming. Oh my God, here's this diagram and here's this color photograph and look what these arrows are pointing at, and he found this and he found that. Most of the time, the home inspector is just trying to be thorough. They're just trying to note anything and everything. It can be Mickey Mouse, small, little bitty minor things like that light switch plate is cracked. I mean, just minor little bitty things. So when you add up little bitty things, the inspection report can get long. But the way you want to look at an inspection report is you want to look at it from a big point of view, not a microscope point of view. So with that in mind, what I'm meaning is focus on the big things, not the minor things. The minor things, that's why God invented Lowe's and Home Depot. You can go take care of those minor things after you move in. You want to focus on the big things in the inspection report, if any. Now, what would the big things be? Foundation, roof, electrical, plumbing, HVAC, windows. Those would be the big things. You know, if the carpet is stained, that's a cosmetic kind of a thing. You know, again, focus on the big things. But your agent should educate you so that you don't freak out when you see that. It's almost like buying a used car. Would you buy a used car and never lift the hood and have a mechanic look at it first before you buy it? Well, that's kind of what it is with a home inspection. We want to lift the hood on this house and have it inspected by a licensed, trained home inspector that has a license in the state of Texas, and he or she knows all the different components of a house and what's important and what you need to be focusing on. So your agent can help you with that. And then lastly, number 5, we're getting to the closing. So once you have a deal, there can be multiple issues that come up before you get to the closing table, and your agent's going to help you navigate around whatever obstacles might come up. Your agent will help you coordinate with your lender and get everything that you need to the lender. The house is going to need to be appraised so that your agent can help coordinate the appraiser getting into the house and getting the property appraised. Also, for some reason, if the appraisal comes in short, which means whatever you're under contract and the appraisal comes in under that, then your agent can now help with what the options would be if the property did not make value. So you can talk to your agent about that. And then also, the agent can help coordinate with the title company any additional information that they need, set up an actual closing day and time for you, just help coordinate all that. And then also with moving, they can recommend some movers to you. A lot of agents, myself included, can help you coordinate getting all the utilities switched over into your name. Also, you're going to want to do a final walkthrough a day or two before closing, and your agent can help get that coordinated and get you inside the house so that you can do one final walkthrough before you go to the closing table. So there's a lot of really important things that an agent does for you. And again, you don't pay them a nickel. I mean, and I'm not even hitting on everything that an agent does for you, but these are the main things that a good agent does for you. And that's why you need to have a good, experienced agent who's going to help you through the whole buying process. Now, with all that being said, I know a good agent. I've been doing this for 33 years in the North Texas area. If you don't have an agent, I'd be happy to help you. I'd be happy to speak with you. Just tell me what's important to you and your family, what areas, if there's a school district, if it's close to a golf course, lake, airport, whatever. I've been doing this for 33 years, and I would be more than happy to help. If you just have some questions, feel free to call me about that as well. Brent Jones, NuHomeSource Realty. 214-649-4528. Have a great day. Bye-bye.